This is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff, plus Alex and Nate with Sam.
Full house
Hey,
today.
It's a lot.
What?
We got a lot of name to this. We got a
A full barn.
The whole barn.
yeah. There you go.
Full barn,
This
everybody.
is Sports Stuff. The full barn.
Today is Monday, December 19th, and bowl season as well as the NFL playoff jockeying is all the rage this week.
Jockeying.
The jockeying for the playoff picture.
Oh, I thought you meant like
Keeping up with the barn theme.
yeah. That's what I was. My mind went horses, and yeah.
And there you went. For those who don't know, I am Muff. Say I'm a host of the Rudderless Ship, if we're going to give a title there. And as all the other namesakes we just talked about, Jim.
I am Jim. The Ohio.
I thought he was going
Homer?
to stop. I am Jim.
are you
I
asking?
I am Alex, the medical degenerate.
I'm Nate, the degenerate of football officiating.
I'm Sam. I'm just here for a good time.
That's it. That's it.
And that's how Nate met Sam.
Ooh.
This
Okay.
one time at band camp,
One
So-
time in fall.
All right. So the World Cup has a champion.
Does
Yeah.
We'll get into a little bit later and some additional sports things.
It's not America.
it was not America.
It was not even close.
No.
As always,
Well,
we should.
They made it to the knockout round.
That's as far as they made it.
Yes.
As always, be sure to follow us at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter, sportsstuffw/Jim, Ampersand Muff on Facebook and YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, tickle, like,
Poke.
I will say I poked Jim on Facebook a couple weeks ago and he has not poked me back.
Really? I don't even think I got the notification.
Oh,
Nate, did you hear that?
called out?
yeah,
There's no notification of your poking.
I poked you.
Better go find it.
I got
Jim.
nothing.
Well, that sucks.
No,
Maybe I'll poke
That
you
means
again.
he dismissed it.
No,
Rude.
I'm literally going through the notifications.
I didn't even
There's
know
not, you don't even exist.
I didn't even know that you could still
Right.
poke on Facebook.
You can. I had trouble finding it, but you can do it.
You can do it.
Interesting.
Didn't even show up.
Anyway, we're still in the journey for more YouTube followers, so get on board with that. As Jim says, hit the bell, get the notifications on,
Get the bell on.
so you get notified when we have any new videos come up. All of our regular episodes get posted, as well as the betting episodes, as well as clips here and there. So get excited, get on board with that. Before we get into this week's show, we have a Pittsburgh update. Alex?
We do have a Pittsburgh update. The Pittsburgh Penguins are 18-8-4, sitting at third in the Metropolitan Division after 2 victories this past week, beating the Dallas Stars and the Florida Panthers. Let me see what their score is right now.
No one cares.
No, they lost. They lost today to the Hurricanes, unfortunately, with 3-2, which was the second place team in the Metropolitan Division. So it was actually a good game. It was tied when I started coming in here, but
It's unfortunate. Jim,
It is
anything about any of your hockey teams?
Columbus still sucks. Vegas is still sitting on top of the Pacific, and the Kraken have dropped a spot. They're third in the division.
Kraken.
Cracking their way. In other Pittsburgh news, the Pirates have gone into the free agent market and spent $5 million to sign a catcher who has a lifetime batting average below the Mendoza line.
Did you approve that at work? Okay.
What are we doing in Pittsburgh with the Pirates? I mean, I always
No
hope
one's even trying anymore.
I don't even want to keep up with what they're doing because I just feel like I'm going to continue to be disappointed at all times.
Pretty much.
Pick a new baseball team.
No, Jim.
That's not how fandom works when you're in not Ohio.
I think you should put. First off, I've never wavered on my fandom.
You just find other teams.
That's what I mean.
I just trail other teams.
Right. That's wavering. I don't have another favorite baseball team.
Well, maybe you should think of one.
No, because I am a fan of Pittsburgh Pirates.
We should. All,
they just actually made a trade for someone I've never heard of for somebody I'd never heard of.
Well, that's baseball,
Isn't that
though.
baseball? Yeah, I was gonna say.
Mhm.
But when you spend $5 million to sign a catcher who's supposed to be a defensive guy who can't hit 200 lifetime, I feel like we've got issues in the farm system and we don't have a better option sitting there.
Well, I know they drafted that guy a couple years ago, but I don't think it's going to take him a couple years to get anybody else to get up there.
I don't know.
I think he was the first overall pick in the draft.
I am of little faith.
But hey, we got the number 1 overall pick again this year.
Keep drafting them and then keep shipping them out. All right, let's get into the show.
Our opinions aren't too tough, rough, or gruff. We are proof that you don't have to be an expert to have an opinion. So just
Shut up and sit down.
This is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff.
And NFL Week 15 breakdown.
Breakdown.
Starting with Thursday night football this week, we have the 49ers taking on the Seahawks. The 49ers go into Seattle, take on the 12th man, and come away with a victory 21-13 as Brock Purdy tosses two touchdowns, and Christian McCaffrey runs for over 100 and a score. Geno Smith's stat line, Alex?
Geno Smith was 31 of 44 with 238 yards, a touchdown, and no interceptions this week.
Alex is a Geno Smith fan.
I am a
which de facto makes you a Seahawks follower this year.
Yeah. I like to see the Seahawks win because it looks good for Geno Smith. If he wasn't playing in a game, I would care less what they did.
Has anybody seen Brock Purdy's picture? It's like that the headshot he has for the NFL up against John Harbaugh's picture.
Yes.
Eerily similar.
I wonder what he was doing. John Harbaugh was doing those years ago. He may have created him. Just saying.
Just saying. Alex, as a Seahawks follower, are you pushing a patience button, a panic button, or are you somewhere in between?
I'm somewhere in between. I think that for the team they have this year, there's not really a panic button with how they've played.
That's a good take.
Fair enough. Which brings us into this week. We have Saturday football starting in the NFL. First game on Saturday, a banger of a game. The Colts taking on the Vikings, where Matt Ryan now finds himself on the wrong end of two terrible distinctions in football history. Having been the starting QB for teams that have blown the largest Super Bowl lead, 28-3, and regular season lead, 33-0, as the Colts go to Minnesota, are up 33 in the third quarter, only to have Kirk Cousins and the Vikes come all the way back to force overtime and then win 39-36. What a game.
Yeah. That was actually a very, very good game. I gave up on it when it was like 33-0. I went over and started watching the bowl games for the day. And then until Muff texted us about the comeback, I was like, what's he talking about? I flipped over. Pretty wild.
This is absolutely nuts. This is absolutely nuts game. I, like Alex, was kind of watching football on Saturday afternoon and flipped away from this. And then just having me scrolling scores, I was like, yeah, the Vikings are doing some stuff. Maybe we'll see if they can make this interesting. Maybe Justin Jefferson will break that receiving record. But then the Vikings started to actually be in the game, even though they got hosed on a couple defensive plays. They had two scoop and scores that ended up not being scoop and scores, but they still found a way to trudge through and make it happen.
They managed to get my little brothers interested in a football game. That's how interesting it was. Or exciting, I should say.
Yeah. Nate, thoughts? Jim, thoughts?
I did nothing with this.
I didn't catch any of the game, but I was out shopping and I saw 33-0. I thought, holy shit, what is going on in Minnesota? And then I check again a couple hours later. It's like, oh, Vikings win in overtime. I'm like, you got to be shitting me.
Yeah.
I had a Christmas party on Saturday, and I had no kids on Saturday. I watched no football on Saturday.
No kids and no football. What's that correlation?
It was weird. Such a weird day. I see you, Alex.
Ravens taking on the Browns. Lamar Jackson is out another game, but Tyler Huntley is there to save the day.
Or not.
Or not, as Deshaun Watson is now 2-1 as a Brown starter, and they beat the Ravens in Saturday afternoon football 13-3. Do we think the Ravens are going to be ready to go once Lamar Jackson returns at quarterback?
Oh, I think they're poopy for
They're
the season.
done. Yeah.
I don't know about done. There's a good chance they're still going to make the wild card,
No.
even if they don't win the division. No,
Yeah,
Who's-
they'll make
who's-
the playoffs, but I don't know if they'll get out of the wild card round.
right.
And in other news, Justin Tucker is human.
Yeah, right. Missed a field goal, had one blocked,
Yeah.
which equals his totals of probably the last 5 years combined, all in one game.
Yeah.
Who's in the running for the wild card spot?
If you scroll down to the notes, Jim, you'll see some things.
My
Oh,
uncle was trying to
okay.
argue that like a blocked field goal shouldn't give him minus points for a kicker because it's not the kicker's fault. I'm like, it very well could be the kicker's fault though.
So right now, Jim, I just pulled it up on the ESPN app here.
Yeah, Muff, you're no
AFC.
shit.
So AFC.
Wait. Why don't we wait till the end when we get to this?
I see a whole section that might answer some questions for Jim, who clearly
Literally
did not read
says
the notes.
wild
Who clearly
cards
did
are
not
up
read
in
the
the
notes
air.
ahead of time.
I mean, Baltimore still has 9 wins. I'd hope they'd be in playoff contention.
Right, Jim. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand why you think they're not going to be in.
Because I think Cincinnati knocks them out.
They don't knock them out, Jim. There's wild card.
Easy a high homer.
That's what I'm asking you. Your notes do not clarify this.
Yes, they're in contention for the wild card.
With whom?
Other
Jim?
teams that are also in.
Pull up the standings and figure it out, buddy.
That's
Jim,
what-
to answer your question,
Thank you, Nate.
that would be the Chargers and the Dolphins.
Right. Okay.
No one likes the Chargers, so
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm just kidding.
Dolphins take on the Bills in Saturday Night Football. There's snow in the stands, snow and ice balls on the field, and a quick clearing of the quicking spot, all coming into play in this game, which was back and forth throughout. But the game is won on a last-second field goal by Tyler Bass and the Bills, who win 32-29. The Bills' rush defense looked porous. Raheem Mostert had a big game for the Dolphins, but Josh Allen continues his MVP-like campaign. Do we see this being a playoff rematch?
Could be. I think the Bills get there.
Yeah, I think the Bills get him again. The Bills rout him next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, in good weather, I think the Bills have them.
But this is the first time I've watched, I think, Miami play a full game this year. And you want to talk about a team with overall team speed.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that's like watching a track meet. If, like Alex said, if they can get the good weather, it's like you better hope you don't get burned by Waddle or Hill or Mostert.
Yeah, unfortunately, well, we'll see what it looks like. That the AFC is most likely to be going through Buffalo or Kansas City, which both have the possibility for poor weather come January, February.
Well, as long as it's colder for Mike McDaniel, right?
Yes. Next, we get into Sunday football action. The Eagles taking on the Bears. Justin Fields returns to the lineup for the Bears, but still runs for his life to the tune of 95 yards for the game. But Jalen Hurts shows that he can punch it in throughout with 3 rushing touchdowns on 61 yards, which is a good thing because he threw 2 interceptions and no passing touchdowns. Eagles improved to 13-1, win 25-20.
I feel like people look at the Justin Fields rushing stats and are like, he's so good. Like, he runs so much. But I'm like, no, the rest of the team, like, I'm not knocking him even. I'm saying, no, the team is just so bad that he must run that much.
I agree. That's a great take on Justin Fields. I don't think he can do this.
No,
His
long term.
longevity is this is a Cam Newton situation.
Yes.
I think this game was the game that, like, I always thought this was Jalen Hurt. I thought for the season, I thought this is how he would perform. This is a down game for Jalen Hurt this year, which was shocking to me.
Well, he has receivers. He just was throwing to the other team instead of them.
Right, but that's how I thought he would do it all year. That's why and so the minute I bet on the Eagles,
They should have.
I get screwed.
That's because you're Jim.
I should have stayed away.
Well, the next game picked you up, right?
Lions taking on the Jets. Lions still making their late season surge and get a big win on a closing minute touchdown and hold on for a 20-17 win. Lions also capitalize on a punt return touchdown in this game, with the Jets starting Zach Wilson, who throws 2 touchdowns, 1 interception on 317 yards passing, and are on the verge of the wild card spots with the final weeks closing in.
Let's go, Alex. Let's go.
I know. Super Bowl Lions.
We could have the Lions and the Jets in the playoffs this year.
Oh,
Wow.
What? It feels kind of dirty.
My dad was like, "Don't tell me how it ends because I still have like 30 minutes left." But have you watched Hard Knocks? I'm like, "What? This was today." I'm like, "You're just now watching it?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "All right."
You mean the Cardinals, who are the in-season Hard Knocks?
No, he's watching.
I know,
the
the Lions.
yeah, no, I was gonna say he's watching the Lions Hard Knocks,
Yeah.
and I was like, "No, I picked the Lions to go to the Super Bowl," and he just like looked at me in his recliner.
Next,
Still out here making you proud.
right? Steelers taking on the Panthers. The Steelers look like they should be playing in Pittsburgh for this one, rushing the ball with purpose, having a 20-play touchdown drive to start the second half, and making minimal mistakes on their way to a 24-16 win over the Panthers, keeping the Mike Tomlin winning season mark with hope, and their slim playoff chances still gasping for air.
They looked like a decent football team today.
Yeah.
Mr. Trubisky was the starting quarterback. Kenny Pickett was out after sustaining his second concussion of the season last week.
How do you guys feel about that?
Let the best man play.
It's not ideal for your expected franchise quarterback to have 2 concussions in his first season.
But think about how knocked around Ben Roethlisberger was.
That's what I just said. I was thinking about Ben. Like, didn't he have a couple?
Yeah, and he was fine.
Well, they are 2 entirely different types of humans.
Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger was just a large man who stood in the pocket.
Smashed his motorcycle into the ground and still was able to play. So we're good.
There may have been different restrictions on Ben Roethlisberger if he played.
I'm going to press on you a minute, Muff. There are 2 different types of humans. Are you talking about physically, or are we talking about like?
Yes,
physically.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know if you were having like a fan moment there with Ben, or you were being unbiased.
Would we ever be biased as?
If you had your moment there, I'd be like, all right, shut up, Alex. But Muff, I thought he was being uncharacteristic for a second. I was like, wait a minute, this smells fishy.
I know. They're, as humans, they are 2 different physical specimens.
Gotcha.
Yes. Next, we have the Chiefs taking on the Texans. The Chiefs seem to be coasting into the end of the season, and the Texans are the latest to push them to the limit, as the Chiefs need overtime and an opportune turnover to win this one 30-24.
The Chiefs just got caught sleepwalking.
I don't think the Texans are a write-off game, in my opinion.
They're not.
Don't catch somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no team in the NFL that I would say is a write-off game. Like,
no,
it's the NFL. If you don't show up, you could get spanked.
I mean, especially this year, you take the normal bottom of the barrels, the Jets, the Lions, things that in the past have been like, all right, we can take it easy, aren't. So who is?
But we'll see. I agree, Jim, that the Texans are definitely progressing positively as the season has gone on. Although without Damian Pierce, that kind of hurts them a little bit in their ground game.
I also think it's funny that this year the teams that are usually they're going to suck, they're going to throw it away, and the disparity is almost gone. The year after we had we're going to throw it because we need a playoff spot scandal, bro. Like, you don't see a lot of teams just giving up.
There's no more tanking for Tua.
Yeah.
Well, the Texans don't need to tank anymore.
Well, after the Dolphins got busted last year, they're probably all on their best behavior.
What was that, Nate?
I'll say the Texans don't need to tank anymore. They're 1-12-1. I don't think anybody can even catch them.
It's a fair point.
You have a good point.
We have it locked. That's what we're good. Now we can try hard.
Falcons taking on the Saints. Andy Dalton continues to get the starts for the Saints, but it's Taysom Hill who brings a splash touchdown through the air in this one, while Desmond Ridder has an underwhelming start for the Falcons as they are moving their franchise forward with him at the helm. Saints win 21-18.
I didn't watch any of this game.
Me either.
No, I saw a couple highlights. I didn't realize Ritter was starting until I saw he was on the ticker there.
Yeah, after
Yeah.
Marcus Mariota threw a fit.
Yeah, but then he have surgery afterwards.
Yeah.
We'll see. That's an interesting situation you have in Atlanta. You also have Calvin Ridley, who's out for the year.
They traded.
Huh?
They traded him.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying, but that he would have been another
would have
piece of
been
this
there,
puzzle.
yes.
That's what I guess I should be saying that instead.
He probably wouldn't have been traded if he was active and playing with them.
Yes.
Mhm.
Next, Cowboys taking on the Jaguars, the last game of the early slate on Sunday. Another game that required overtime as the Jaguars keep pace with the Cowboys offense, coming alive in the second half for 27 points to take it to overtime and get a pick 6 off Dak Prescott to win this one 40-34. Trevor Lawrence throws for 4 touchdowns. Travis Etienne has 100 plus rushing yards. The Cowboys are all but eliminated from their divisional title hopes. Should Cowboys and the Cowboys fans be worried about how the final weeks of the season will set the tone for the playoffs?
I think they should be worried about Dak.
Why? This is like what we've been talking about all season, but the freaking Jaguars. Like, you
Yeah.
never know. They could go out and get absolutely demolished by the Texans next week.
I think Dak is not as Dak's not worth the money this year. He played like shit in that game. I was not a fan.
I didn't see too much of it.
I think he had 2 interceptions.
I
That's
don't think he that last interception
Was
I'm not
pick
gonna say was
six,
his fault. That pick 6, I'm not gonna put that on him. It actually I think it hit the receiver's hands. I think that I agree that Dak's not playing to the form that they would hope, but I mean, where's the defense in this game, right? Where's
Oh, that's true.
where's the Cowboys defense, this this pass rush that's supposed to be just absolutely unformidable or formidable in this case. Where are they at? You score 34 points and you have an above average defense, you should be winning every game.
The Texans hung in with them, almost
Mhm.
beat them last week. The Jags beat them this week. Philly's gonna beat the shit out of them. Tennessee the week after might hang in there with them.
That one's
So we're gonna say
Derrick Henry has a good
Tennessee's
game.
worse than the Jaguars and the Texans.
Tennessee
All I said was
has-
they're gonna hang in there with them.
Yeah, Tennessee is not the offensive situation.
Tennessee's a one-trick pony.
Yeah, Derrick Henry.
And
Thank you.
then Washington at the end. Cowboys need to wake up now.
Yeah, they need to come in strong.
Yeah.
In the late games on Sunday, Cardinals taking on the Broncos. Brett Rippon spells Russ Wilson for the week and makes the most of it, guiding the Broncos to a win over the Cardinals, 24-15. Latavius Murray leads the Broncos to 100 plus rushing yards and a touchdown. Rippon throws for one as Colt McCoy is spelled by Trace McSorley at the end of this game.
Colt McCoy needs to hang it up.
What?
Put it to bed, sir.
He's always in a situation where he doesn't ever expect that he's going to be playing. And I don't think the team wants him necessarily to play.
Yeah. I think the choice there is obviously Kyler Murray.
Right. So we'll see where that goes. Both teams, I think, are 4-10 now. So
Yeah.
good for them.
Yeah.
Patriots taking on the Raiders. Yikes. The Patriots come out strong in the second half, catch up, go ahead. Then the Raiders come back late to tie the score. And then craziness ensues on the last play of the game. Yikes, yikes, triple yikes, double yikes, double doink, all of the things. Alex, take us through this. Jim, take us through this. Whoever wants to take us through
Did
this.
did they think that they were losing? Is my only. So Ramondre Stevenson gets the ball, makes a rush play. Time ran out, so he didn't get out of bounds or anything. So all he had to do was fall down, go to bounds, whatever, take the game to overtime. He decides he's going to lateral it backward to Jacoby Myers, which I thought was asinine. That one was definitely that one started off as asinine. So I'm like, surely Jacoby Myers will just get tackled or go out of bounds and we'll go to overtime. Jacoby Myers thinks, you know what I should do? Because he did it to me. I'm going to lateral to our quarterback at the 50-yard line. It's not like he was going to lateral it like 3 feet from the end zone and like, oh yeah, he can just fall in. Like, you really think Mac Jones is going to run through all of that defense to score a freaking touchdown? Like, what good? And then poor Mac Jones is like, what the hell? And the Raiders guy catches it and just truck sticks him. And he has to lay in the middle of the field thinking, what the hell just happened after he came back and had a chance to win the game in overtime. And this is a little fueled by the fact that I bet on the Patriots, but still, I mean, come on.
That was not a team that looked like it was coached by Bill Belichick.
I know. That was my first thought. Like, a Bill Belichick team just did that.
I was gonna say I want to see Belichick's post-game press conference. I gotta find that.
Somebody's getting fired for that.
Jacoby Myers should lose his NFL rights. He should have to
Rights.
not be allowed to. He can go to the Canadian Football League if you want to act like that.
Is this like Matt Patricia?
He is now the top of my shit list.
Is this a Matt Patricia problem? Is Bill going to have to come to terms that Matt Patricia is not a good offensive coordinator?
No, I don't think that has anything
That was
to do
not.
with it.
I won't put that on the offensive coordinator at all.
No.
Nobody drew that play up. Nobody made that okay. That was them being dumbasses. Like I said, the Vermontre Stevenson to Jacoby Myers was dumb in and of itself. The Jacoby Myers to Mac Jones is the one that absolutely baffles me. My mind is blown still. I don't think I can talk about it anymore.
Yeah, that was stupid.
All right. That's where we stand with this one.
Stupid.
No other things to say. I like Nate am interested in seeing this post game presser. I feel like it would be hilarious. Next, Titans taking on the Chargers. Chargers and Titans playing a game where offense was at a premium. Neither QB wanting to really take control, but this is one in which Jim's Chargers find a way to prevail, winning 17-14 on a late field goal. Jim, how you feeling about them?
Well, I had them +3. So this is a push for me in the betting show. How do I feel? I'm angry because I didn't hit the bet.
You had them -3.
Yeah, -3.
But
So
as a Chargers fan, how do you feel?
as a Chargers fan, it was good to see some of the receiving pay off. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen.
Yeah, they look good.
They look good today. I feel like rejuvenated. I feel like their spot in the wild card is a little bit solidified with the Patriots' dumbassery. That felt good. I don't feel like they're going to make a very long run if they get in because, still think they have some issues. But it felt good. I feel good.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing for you. Next, Bengals taking on the Bucks. Sorry, Nate. The Bengals look like a dud early, but come on strong in the second half as they find the way to make Brady look silly, winning 34-23 behind a solid game from the defense of the Bengals, which put Joe Burrow in the offense in good scoring situations, especially in the third quarter when the Bucks didn't run a play in Bengals territory.
I was going to say, I don't necessarily know that the Bengals came on strong to start the second half. I think the Bucks came on weak.
Yeah, you can't turn the fucking ball over 5 times.
There we go.
There's our rating.
Woo! Nate rarely ever gets us the E. Good job, Nate.
Nate always gets us to the E.
So
Maybe I just, in my mind, he's more innocent than us.
I think part of Joe Burrow's calm, cool, collected self is a disadvantage at times for the Bengals because they come out very melancholy like he does. And then it gets away from them. And then it was the Buccaneers game to lose. And lose they did.
Like, sometimes you need the guy that's like, let's go, look in your face,
Yeah. If Tom Brady was on the Bengals would be a whole different, they would be jacked up. It would be a different.
But I don't think that's fair to say because Joe Burrow is a really good quarterback.
Okay.
So it's a weird thing. Like, what team would Joe Burrow be good on then? Is your point that Joe Burrow is not a good team leader? because I don't think you can say that either in this situation.
I mean, Joe Burrow was on his ass all the time.
Well, yeah, exactly. They literally, the announcers in that game at one point were like, "Oh, I give the offensive line of the Bengals some credit. I mean, they've really like improved as the year's gone on." And literally, the next play, the guy just gets drilled, and he says,
He
"Well,
had like the most sacks since 19 whatever the hell.
yeah." So they're like, "Well, I guess the way that we get the other team to sack Joe Burrow is just mention that maybe the Bengals offensive line's playing pretty well." Like they were even like, "Oops."
I don't
Well,
know.
the Bucks were missing a key piece on their defensive line this week, correct, Nate?
Yeah, Vita Vea, their big Hawaiian, whatever, 300
Big
something.
Hawaiian, whatever.
Sounded kind of racist.
No, I mean,
What?
did you ever hear his full name? I wanted someone to pull up his full name right now and try to pronounce it.
I
Because
already know.
Vita Vea is like a nickname. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's their big mountain of a man in the defensive line, just clogs up the middle. But I mean, yeah, his presence was definitely missed. But again, you cannot turn the ball over on downs, throw 2 interceptions, and fumble the ball twice, all in the second half, and expect to beat anybody.
No. This is one of Tom's worst records of his career.
Yeah, definitely the tale of 2 halves.
Yep.
Do you blame Giselle at all, Nate?
No, he's actually played better since Giselle's gone out of the house.
Okay.
His name is Tavita Tuliako Ono Tui Puluoto Mosi Vahe Fahoko Falatu Vita Vea. I can't make this
No,
up.
you're gonna have to send that to Jim because that literally Jim.
That's his
Yeah,
name.
send that to
Not
me.
Hawaiian.
Okay. In Sunday Night Football, Giants taking on the Commanders. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. How are we looking, Nate?
Currently, we're 0-0, and Washington is driving on the fringe of the red zone here.
Fringe. On the fringe of the red zone. They're in the mustard zone, not the red zone.
Isn't it like the green zone or something?
Well,
Holy
if it's
heck.
Washington, would it be the sewer zone?
True story. True story. And in Monday Night Football, the Rams taking on the Packers. Where do our picks go in this one?
I got the Packers.
Go
By a
Pack.
touchdown.
Go Pack, go.
Yeah, I'm not going to knock that one.
Yeah,
Yep.
I like the Packers too. I don't think the Rams had anything going for them, and Aaron Donald's also out tomorrow night, or technically tonight, if you're looking at sporting. But yeah, I mean, talk about 2 teams that we thought by this point in the season this would be one hell of a primetime Monday night game, and now it's going to
Right.
get
Ugh. Bad news bears. All right. This brings us into what does the playoff picture look like? At least in the division winners at this point. In the AFC, we have the Bills and Chiefs, which have both clinched playoff berths. Chiefs have clinched the AFC West. And the Bills, with one more win, will clinch the AFC East. Bengals and Ravens are battling for the AFC North and then a possible wild card spot. The AFC South is going to come down to the Titans and the Jaguars. Not sure that we would have thought the Jaguars had been involved in that race come the beginning of the season.
No.
Okay. For the Ravens,
Mhm.
do you know their schedule?
They're
yes, Ravens. I can look that up right now for you.
they're
Jim.
probably playing
So,
at least
the
2
Ravens-
division opponents left.
The Ravens on Christmas Eve
Steelers.
host the Falcons. New Year's Day, they host the Steelers.
Yeah.
And then to round up the regular season, they're at the Bengals.
Yeah.
I don't think they win. I think they lose all of those games, maybe. Except for, let's say Atlanta.
Yeah, I think they beat Atlanta. Pittsburgh and them are always neck and neck. And then I think the Bengals beat them in the last week of the season.
So if they
Yeah.
lose all those games, aren't they out?
Not necessarily.
Depends what
They're
everybody else does.
yeah, they're still 9-8.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
Remember, the wild card. The situation is the number 1 seed gets the bye. The other 3 division winners host the first round of the wild card game. So there's 3 other wild card teams.
Okay.
So you don't just have to win the division. In the NFC, the Eagles have all but clinched the NFC East in the top spot of the conference. 49ers have all but clinched the NFC West. The Vikings have clinched the NFC North, thanks to their winner this weekend over the Colts. And the whole division is battling it out in the NFC South, which is the Bucks, Panthers, Saints, Falcons.
Not in a good way, I feel like.
It's the NFC South of the border. I don't know what we're going to call them.
South at the bottom.
South debate. And the wild cards look to be the Cowboys, and then it's a toss up after that.
Okay.
Makes sense.
So have some more clarity. I don't even know if for all the wild cards we're going to have clarity. We're probably going to have less teams that are still in the hunt after next week, but we're still going to be jockeying for that position all said and done. So anything else on the NFL, gents, or Sam, if you watched any football this weekend?
I did not watch any football.
Well, I got a good one for you, Sam, that I saw. So, your pal who's a bum that never plays anymore.
Mason.
Uh-huh. In the spirit of Christmas, they put a meme out there of him sitting on the sideline. And they said, they never let poor Rudolph play in any football games.
Okay, he's actually the Steeler elf on the shelf. So
Oh,
it's not to make fun of my boyfriend like that.
I thought.
Go to hell.
I mean, are any of Sam's QB crushes even playing right now? Mason's not playing. Jimmy G's not playing. Is Tom a QB crush?
Not really. That's
No.
Nate's crush.
No, so just like me, you like a bunch of losers.
Basically.
What a positive household.
Right.
Oh, real quick before we get into some college talk, the Sports Stuff Fantasy Football League.
Yeah.
I am kicking Alex's booty.
Yeah.
Jim somehow find a way to play his wife last week of the season, and she has 3 or 4 starters that are not playing.
Isn't that funny how that happened?
Well, I can't say it because this has been a trend.
It's been
This has been a
easy.
trend, so I cannot say that this was any collusion within the Compton household on this particular item.
You all can talk to her about it, okay?
That's all right, Joe. I thank you for not setting the lineup so I won't be last this year.
Exactly.
One more year to get your stuff together, Jordan. One more year, or else you're out of here.
I'll tell her.
Jim's like, I can't wait to tell her.
Wait, so you have to tell her because she's not a loyal listener anymore?
Oh, I'll tell her that too.
Ooh.
How about we let this sit here for a week and see what happens?
See what happens. Yeah, this is a test.
I'll make sure to not tell her.
That's the one. All right, and that brings us into this week's
College football breakdown.
That was really good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we are in bowl season. We'll do a quick recap of the bowls to this point. As a reminder, you can listen to the betting show, which comes out on Thursdays. I think it's a good time to tell the loyal listeners what our schedule will be like over the holidays, huh, Jim?
Yep.
What am I doing?
Our schedule over the holidays.
What is our schedule?
We will have today's episode coming out on Monday. We will have this week's betting episode coming out on Thursday, and then we will be taking next Monday's episode off, and we will be recording for our typical normal Thursday show for next week during the betting. And then we're going to have a special episode on the 2nd of January.
Special.
Because there will be a visit to the Columbus area.
Yes.
Some people in this area.
A live, maybe a live show?
I mean, I don't know that's live, but like physically together.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
It's going to be a good time. Fun will be had by all.
Let's hope. Some guest appearances by Jim's children, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Most likely can have that. So in college football, we had bowl season, Bahamas Bowl. UAB wins 24-20. over Miami, Ohio.
Didn't watch this one at all.
I watched this game because I wanted the over and was pissed off because one missed field goal. No, missed field goal. I'm sorry, missed extra point cost me that bet. That one,
That'll do it.
it should have been 21-24.
Yeah, that's one bowl game I wouldn't mind going to or playing in. But if you're going to send two teams to the Bahamas for a bowl game and nice weather and everything, don't make it two teams that are 6-6. They don't deserve there. Send them to the Fenway Bowl in Boston and let them freeze their ass off.
Fair point.
Nate brings up a good point. I'm not gonna lie. In the Cure Bowl, Troy taking on the Beep Beeps, the University of Texas San Antonio Roadrunners, and Troy comes out on top, winning 18-12.
I didn't watch
A
much.
decent game. Decent game. A little bit of excitement
Was
from what
not-
I did see.
Good. In the Celebration Bowl,
Ugh.
HBCU Championship, Jackson State taking on NC Central. Deion Sanders loses in his final game with Jackson State as NC Central is up to the task, running the ball with success all game long and surviving overtime despite a last-second touchdown from Jackson State to send the game into the extra periods. North Carolina Central wins in the first overtime, 41-34.
Can't say that outcome surprises me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of like lack of drive, maybe, or you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Not
The wind
everybody's
was out of the sails there.
not everybody was all the way into this one.
No.
It's appropriate time to talk about Deion Sanders pregame pressers. I didn't hear any postgame press yet.
No. But the
Um,
pregame, Dion's we called him a quote machine. He says good things. Uh-oh, Alex has a visitor. Now you're on mute. That's how we know you have a visitor.
no, I'm not.
You were.
No, I'm not.
You were on mute.
No, I wasn't on mute. Was I-
Anyway, Deion Sanders. Good,
Was you
Jim.
talk about
good.
Deion Sanders, Alex?
Yeah, Deion Sanders. Did you watch his post game press?
That's what we were talking about when you
I
got
know.
distracted by something.
There was a bug.
So
Anyway,
tell us about Deion,
yeah,
Alex.
because none of us saw the postgame press.
You all did.
No, we did not. We want
No, we
you to
did not.
talk.
We were actually, since you brought up the post game, we said
No.
we didn't.
I thought you guys. Was that not the video we watched?
Yeah, that
About-
That was a pregame.
was
Oh,
pregame.
really? About I misinterpreted that then. I thought it was
Oh.
because he was seeming sassy about the fact that
Mm.
he did all this good and it's not just a football program. But
Gotcha.
also,
Gotcha. Anyway, Deion Sanders is a quote
Safety.
machine. He says good things. I like him. Big fan.
Yeah, Deion was talking pregame. One, he had his emotional pregame speech in the locker room to the players. But before the game even started, he was talking to the media, and there were discussions about, as many people have, and I'm one of them, but after I listened to this, I feel differently about my opinion, having listened to his response, was if Deion was stated to be coming in to help elevate HBCUs, why is he leaving? Deion answered what I thought that question very well, saying, I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I came here and I brought attention to this program into HBCUs. I have elevated the status of the school, but, and this is me paraphrasing, unfortunately, I can't do this all by myself. And there are a lot of things that have happened here that are great, but I have a feeling once I leave, there's going to be a lot of things that people don't understand how much impact was had, not specifically by him, but I think the buy-in from many people around the program and inside that school. So I applaud Deion for addressing that in a way that shows that there was an impact from his time there, and he's not sure everyone's going to realize until he's gone.
Yeah, I agree. I think he handled it eloquently. I think to me, he reminded me of a Muff, but with pizzazz. Like he's a flamboyant Muff. He knows how to dodge questions and bob and weave, but he does it with style.
Indeed.
I'm just anxious to see what's going to happen next season with Jackson State. Like, are they going to fall flat on their face? Are they just going to sputter a little bit? Because I don't
Yeah.
think they're going to be as good as they are this year, next year. Because something tells me a lot of those guys are going to jump ship.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, hopefully they're jumping ship to D1 programs, right? To FBS opportunities, which would be great. Next in the Lending Tree Bowl, we have Rice taking on Southern Miss. Southern Miss wins and gives Alex vindication, 38-24.
He'll get the vindication on the betting show.
Indeed.
I will.
Indeed. In the Frisco Bowl, Boise State takes on North Texas. Boise State pulls one out, winning 35-32. Apparently, the post-game handshake had some contentious discussion, but
I don't know what was up with that. I wish there was a sound clip.
Me too, because it looked like there was an issue, but Boise State won by not a last second, but a field goal late, right?
Yeah, I'm looking. They ended up winning by 3, and I'm just looking at the game cast on the ESPN app. North Texas scored a touchdown and got the 2-point with 8:17 left to go in the game. That was the last score.
Oh, never mind. I thought Boise scored a field goal later in the game. I don't know, but yeah, there definitely looked like there wasn't a lot of smiling in that post-game handshake and discussion.
Mm-hmm.
In the
I see it.
Yeah, I saw as Nate saw a no audio clip that did not look like happy coaches. In the LA Bowl, Washington State takes on Fresno State. Fresno State wins 29-6.
I picked Fresno State to win.
So smart. I listened to Alex. Like, I will own this one. Alex did the recon. Definitely Washington didn't have their players, and it showed.
In the Fenway Bowl, where Nate would like to see the subpar teams end up, Cincinnati took on Louisville. Louisville wins 24-7 in the what the hell happened to Luke Fickell Bowl.
Yeah, that's what in quote. That was a good quote right there from my father. I was picking up my kids from my dad's house. He was like, I didn't know Luke Fickell wasn't at Cincinnati. I was like, that's what happened.
Rides
That's
off
the
into
outcome.
the night. Rides off into the night. In the Las Vegas Bowl, Oregon State taking on Florida. Oregon State dominates 32-3.
That they do.
Yeah.
In a
Florida
game,
didn't have a lot of their players.
Yeah. Florida has had people to the draft and in the portal. Bad for me. And lastly, in the New Mexico Bowl, Southern Methodist taking on Brigham Young. BYU wins 24-23.
I think we generally knew that this was going to be close. The score doesn't surprise me.
Oh yeah, I took BYU in the pick'em, but it was like that one was kind of like a hope in the dark, not a very confident.
Yeah.
It's the first weekend action of bowls. There's bowls continuing throughout this week, and obviously post Christmas time, whenever the bowls really ramp up for that last week, getting into New Year's. Again, you can hear more about our thoughts on the bowls, our best bets, and how that goes in the betting show, which comes out on Thursday mornings. Any other thoughts in the college football world?
No.
I think we just slowly roll through.
Okay, and that wraps up this week's
college football breakdown
and brings us into other interesting news in the sports world. Over the weekend, the World Cup ended, and Argentina comes away with the crown in penalty kicks with an entertaining match that saw 2 goals from France and Argentina in regulation, each scoring 1 goal in overtime to send the game to penalty kicks, where Argentina wins 4-2. France's Mbappe wins the Golden Boot, scoring a hat trick in the final, but Lionel Messi gets his elusive World Cup final win. Alex, do you have any other thoughts? And I know you did some recon on this.
I did do a little recon on it. Not much, nothing that you really didn't mention. I know that obviously, like you said, this started out 2-0 Argentina. It was the first they had to get overtime. The first 15 minutes was nothing. Then they take their little break, and then they play the second 15 minutes of soccer, and that is when Messi scored in the 108th minute and Mbappe scored in the 118th minute. So it was actually a very, very good game. I'm super happy. Lionel Messi is probably my favorite soccer player that's not like American. I always liked him, so I was happy to see him kind of cap his international career as far as World Cup stuff goes with a win.
Indeed.
Yeah, someone that never watches soccer, my brother put it on after I got him home this morning, and at that point it was already 1-0, and that was a very entertaining game for anybody that even doesn't remotely watch soccer. But I was confused that I didn't know what the overtime rules were until they said it. But I thought it was like sudden death. Like once Messi scored, I'm like, oh, game's over. Like,
Mhm.
no, we're still playing.
Yep. It's not golden goal, right? It true overtime. They play the overtime out, which is, I mean, created more drama in this one, which was really cool. But yeah, I agree, Nate, that this game, I did not watch it, but just knowing the recaps that I saw and the clips, this would be the perfect game for the non-soccer fan because there were goals, right? There were more goals than typically you're going to see. You saw overtime in which you saw goals in overtime, which is also not necessarily typical. And then you got to see it end in penalty kicks. So I think a great way for the World Cup to end. It'd be interesting to see what Lionel Messi does. There's a lot of rumors he's going to be in the MLS. I think there's actually some things almost pen to paper at this point. And if he truly, this will be his last ride in the World Cup.
Soccer.
Okay. Moving on to the NFL. The NFL owners were alerted that they've spent over $800 million on fired coaches in the past 5 years during the league meetings this past week. For a league that is all about the money, is this something that they should be concerned about? As the reason the NFL brought it to light was to show that the instability in how things were going and hoping that they would be more cautious of just firing coaches at will. And of course, Matt Rule is like the poster child for this right now.
I think it's more of a commentary that we need to figure out why we're firing coaches than a business situation. Like, hey, we're blowing money. The money's there. If they want to keep doing it, they can do it. But I think it's more of a commentary of, hey, we need to look at why we're firing them, who we're firing. Were they the right hires to begin with? You people have gone with the status quo of hiring from within. Maybe you should rethink how we're hiring.
I think you might also see teams look at contracts differently. I mean, you saw like you said, Matt Rule when he got signed to the Panthers, then he signed like a 7-year contract off the gate with no NFL coaching experience.
Yeah,
no NFL head
It's like
coaching
you're
experience.
setting yourself up for failure.
Yep.
Right. He had no NFL head coaching experience. He coached for the Giants, I believe, before he was at Temple and then Baylor.
I don't think the money's ever going to stop being spent. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think it's going to come down to we need to vet these people better. And hey, and I haven't done the social commentary in a long time on this show, but like, hey, everybody's qualified, you numbnuts. So like, let's not necessarily pick our best friends from the long stem of the tree. Let's let everybody in.
Yeah, I will say, and this is something this is not the first year, but I think this is one of the first years. I think it's been the past 2 or 3 years they've been doing this at the league meetings. They also had a young executives. I think officially they call it like a cocktail and meet and greet hour, where younger people within organizations that are representing underrepresented populations and demographics have an open like opportunity to meet and greet with some of the high level and powerful people within the league in an effort to at least make introductions, right? So you can start to at least meet people and they can start to make those connections to maybe have a better opportunity in the future of, at least I recognize this person, and the first time I see them is not in an interview because they're interviewing for like a front level or a front office position, maybe not general manager, but maybe out of their higher ranking position within an organization. So that happened at the league meetings as well. So there's some efforts, but we'll see what happens in the next 5 years with that. In college football, specifically in the Big Ten, UCLA seems to be cleared to make the move to the Big Ten as the University of California Regents approve the exit from the Pac-12, but there are conditions. UCLA will have to pay a Berkeley tax, as the University of California at Berkeley will hurt greatly from UCLA leaving and not being part of the Pac-12 media deal specifically. This is projected. This is one of the most crazy projections I've ever seen to be between $2 and $10 million.
Wow. That's really narrows it down for us.
Right? I saw this. I was like, why is it such a great thing? And the Pac-12 or the Pac-12 media deal is, I think, still being negotiated, obviously, but that seems to be a large gap. And I don't know what that's going to mean for the future. UCLA will also have to increase supports and money to those supports to help these students, such as academics, nutritional, and mental health services. That is estimated to be between $10 and $12 million. And apparently this was part of, I think Bill Walton was included in this discussion with all of the additional travel. They wanted to have more things in place to help the mental, physical, and emotional health and support that of these student athletes, because they're going to be traveling a lot from the West Coast to the East Coast and the Midwest.
No, it's smart. Good for them. Good idea.
Jim's Kevin Warren getting any flowers from you today?
No.
I know I'm not even a Christmas poinsettia.
No. I think maybe we should have brought in Cal too.
You should have brought in Cal as well.
Why not?
Who are you gonna get rid of?
Rockers.
Rockers. Come to Rockers. Also in the college world, a congressional bill could remove the coveted Army edge rusher Andre Carter II from the 2023 draft pool. He's projected to be a top 50 selection, and the bill that is being discussed is quoted as saying, the agreement by a cadet or midshipman to play professional sport constitutes a breach of agreement to serve as an officer, end quote. Once signed into law, if it is signed into law, the change would take place effective immediately, which would then leave Carter out of this year's draft to do his mandatory service for, I think it's 2 years. Since 2019, athletes from the academies have been able to apply for a waiver with legislation that was passed during Trump's presidency. So interesting how the law is getting into, and legislation is getting into a specific college football player's world. Any thoughts on this?
Is there
Yeah, I
a
feel like
troop
if you-
shortage?
I mean, how long's their I wonder what's their commitment after like how many years?
I think
Usually
this
4, right?
I think this specific, if I
think it is.
saw this correctly, I might be wrong, is a 2-year commitment after you get out of the academy.
So my question is there, I wonder if there is a way to do this where you are making that 2-year commitment following your professional career.
Yeah, but you're talking about you're getting a broken.
It doesn't mean, well, the officers aren't necessarily going straight into battle. I mean, some of these guys are like engineers and, you know.
Yeah, but you're still getting.
I mean, you have to go through, you have to pass
39-year-old.
you have to pass the physical exam. I mean, the physical, tests, but I don't know. It sucks, but I guess when you think about it, that's a risk you take whenever you go to a service academy. I think you do your 2 years, and then if you're still in shape enough to go play football, you go play football. If that's the rule, that's the. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I can talk myself into both sides.
Yeah, I could too.
Yeah, so it's interesting, and this will obviously be very politicized, all said and done. But what are you gonna do? Here we are. So it's an interesting topic. Just wanted to bring it up. Nate, any thoughts?
No, I'm in the same boat as Alex, where I can understand it's like, well, you went to a service academy, so you knew going into it, you might not have the opportunity to make the NFL, but at the same time, it's like if they're that talented enough, I feel like they should get the chance. Doesn't mean they're going to last in the NFL. They could get cut. You just don't know.
Yep, I agree. In other college football news, the NCAA.
Oh, hold on, Muff.
What?
What is the attraction to playing on a sports team for our military service?
The guaranteed income, the money. The prestige
like,
of saying
why
I was able
play?
to be a professional athlete.
But they're not. You don't get to be a professional athlete for 2 years.
I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to get at here.
Like if I am D1 worthy,
Hmm.
why even consider the military route?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you are choosing to play the service academy, you're choosing to do that knowing that this will
Right, I
postpone.
agree. So why do it at all? Like why does the military
There-
have football teams and basketball teams?
Some people take that seriously. I mean, some people think like that's. I think some people would rather. I don't know. I think some
It's
people would like like Muff said, the prestige, and to say like, yes, I was at the the Naval Academy, and I think that there is something to say like you can take 2 years and do your duty and stuff and stay in shape and do workouts and come out and
aka
hopefully,
David Robinson.
yeah.
David Robinson took his what he needed to do before he came back. It is very rare where you see a member of the service academies be a prospect in the NFL. It does not happen often. And what are the reasons to go into the service academies? I mean, you're pretty much guaranteeing yourself a career. Let's be real honest. Like,
I understand going to the service academy. I don't understand going to the service academy to play a sport.
But I think maybe they are playing a sport because they can, but going to the service academy because they want to be at the service academy. Like people join the
Right.
like naval band, but they don't go to the naval academy to be in the band. They go to the naval academy to be there, and then they are good enough to also be in the band while they're there. So I think a lot of these people prioritize getting into the service academy and being a part of the service academy and then play football. And it just so happens this guy is very good and would be eligible for the NFL. But I think the people that go there aren't people that are saying like, I want the NFL to be my long-term career.
Okay.
I think they're going there saying, I'm good enough to play Division One football. It's probably not everyone who plays Division One football has any chance in the NFL. You know,
No, I see your point.
I see what your point is too. Like, I know what you're saying. Like, why risk it where you might not get to go to the NFL, even if you are good enough?
I think that's one of my points. I think the other point is why do we have a football team for the Army?
Why not?
why do we have a football team? Why do we have a football team for any of the schools? I mean, it's an opportunity. It provides. I mean, I have
Yeah,
to assume
yeah,
they,
okay.
I have to
Yeah,
assume
sure.
they get some type of incentive
Plus,
outside
like, I mean, the pride of it, you know?
All right. I'm gonna walk away from this one and think more on it.
Okay.
If you had the opportunity to play football for the Army, Jim, would you?
Probably not.
It's odd.
You're dumb. The NCAA has granted Oregon's Cam McCormick his 9th year of eligibility.
Let's talk about something crazy. This is crazy to me.
This is absolutely nuts. So he redshirted his freshman year, which was 2015, 2016, I believe.
Yeah.
And then suffered 4 straight season-ending injuries from 2017 to 2021. And he did make it through this whole season, but is not considered an NFL prospect by any means.
Yeah, but does the season end? Was he injured early enough in the season that it wasn't considered a year played? Is that what they're saying?
That's yeah,
And you got the COVID year in there.
right.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's 5 years of season-ending injuries, which is how he gets to his 9. One of those season-ending injury years was a COVID year too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's how all that plays into it. So it's just absolutely insane to think that somebody. I hope he's got like 3 degrees. Like, I hope.
Yeah.
Stay there for 9
Yeah,
years.
I just found the picture because I saw where Jason Brown from Netflix Last Chance U like was ripping this dude apart. But 2016 redshirt, 2017 redshirt freshman, 2018 season-ending injury, 2019 missed the whole season due to injury, 2020 COVID year, 2021 season-ending injury, 2022 senior, 2023 and 2024 granted year of eligibility. Talk about a super senior.
Super duper
Yeah.
duper senior.
He has said that he's not sure what he's going to do. Like, he's not sure if he's coming back.
Because you still have
yet.
to take classes, correct?
You still
Yeah.
have to
Like,
be
I wonder how many
eligible.
class credits he has at this point.
Well, there's a lot of other eligibility things that come into play aside from GPA, as far as you have to be working towards a degree. So I don't know. It's a lot that there's a lot there. There's just a lot, but I thought it was interesting. Ninth year of eligibility is absolutely insane. In other college football news, Ohio State loses 5-star quarterback Dylan Raiola as he decommits. Is this anything to be worried about, Jim, or is this just we have so many people on our roster, there's not enough room for everybody?
This is not one of those situations.
Okay.
They lost another guy before him. They only have one quarterback. Technically, the quarterback situation is sparse. It is cause for trepidation in Ohio State. They got to figure out what they're going to do. There's rumors of trying to flip a guy from LSU. There's some nervousness there. And to get blown out by Georgia in that playoff game is going to hurt recruiting.
Are you relegated yourself to that fact?
That fact is a possibility. Like if
Okay.
they go over there and get smoked, it's not just we lost the playoff game. It's you're going to hurt recruiting and potentially the outcome of games for years to come.
Is this in the age of the transfer portal? Is this something that should be less concerning, or is it still a similar level of concern to you as an Ohio State fan?
Ohio State's not good at the transfer portal. They've not played that game well. Ryan Day likes making them in-house and developing them. So it's all cause for concern.
Okay. Who's next man up at QB right now? I put you on the spot. I know.
I don't know.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I know that the backup for Ohio State was good, but like there's always the fear of we lose quarterbacks to the transfer portal. We don't retain them well. And I don't know that CJ, like we all like to say, CJ Stroud's going to the NFL, but that's not been talked about either.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's that conversation of, well, is CJ going or not? If he doesn't, what's that do for recruiting? Ryan Day doesn't want him to stay. That's been talked about. Ryan Day wants to start making the next generations. The quarterback position at Ohio State is very touchy right now.
Okay. Alex, who's WU getting?
Not sure. JT Daniels hopped the ship, but I don't really care.
Bo Mixon's staying at Oregon.
Bo Nix is staying. You're 7 for him.
Yeah,
I think that's a good choice.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, that will elevate his. If he's looking to go to the NFL, that will at least elevate his stock staying there.
Yes.
So Kyle McCord, Kyle McCord was a redshirt freshman for Ohio State.
Okay.
And then Devin Brown is 3. One of those two will leave.
Okay.
I think Kyle McCord will end up staying because he was the heir apparent. Devin Brown will leave. And so there it is. Like the room is sparse.
Got it. All right. Moving on to the NBA. The NBA has renamed many of their trophies.
Yeah.
Their prestigious trophies. The most improved player trophy will now be called the George Mikan Trophy. The 6th Man of the Year trophy has been named after John Havlicek. The Rookie of the Year trophy has been named for Wilt Chamberlain. The Defensive Player of the Year trophy has been named after Akeem Olajuwon. And the MVP award will now be the Michael Jordan Trophy.
Kind of like that. I think there should be a Kobe Award.
There is, and I agreed with you, and I got real mad at this. The MVP at the All-Star game is the Kobe Bryant Trophy.
Okay.
Yeah, these are all the end of season awards.
Gotcha.
So, but that's cool. It's cool I think it's nice to see. Yeah, them doing some renaming here. In the baseball world, because we all love baseball, Aaron Judge signed a 9-year, $360. Make sure this is right. $1 million contract with the Yankees.
Millions.
Including $360 million guaranteed. And an annual average salary of $40 million. In 2023, Judge will earn a base salary of $40 million while carrying a total salary of $40 million. So this all checks out. Like it's not one of those like all these hidden things, right? Interesting enough, the rate of pay for Aaron Judge will be $76 a minute, $4,600 an hour, $110,000 per day, and $770,000 per week.
Could you imagine knowing that every minute that passes you make $76? There's not many jobs that wouldn't. There are no jobs that I wouldn't do for that.
That's
Well, we want
money.
to talk about how the NFL spent $800 million on fired coaches. It's like, what happens if he doesn't pan out? Like if he hits a slump, it's like then you're stuck with it because it's a guaranteed contract.
Yep, that's baseball, right? That's how baseball works.
Moneyball.
Bobby Bonilla, right? Not
Yeah.
that not. This isn't Bobby. This is beyond Bobby Bonilla money.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's types of
Yeah,
contracts. that can
who else
happen.
did I see that? I think it was Ken Griffey Jr. has something like that now. They said he was like the fifth highest paid player on the Reds this year, and he's not even on the active roster.
It's crazy. Baseball contracts are absolutely absurd. And here we are as Pirates fans talking about the $5 million catcher. They can't even hit 200.
Yep.
I don't like baseball. That's my stance.
All right. And that wraps up all of the college talk and some other interesting news in sports this week.
This is Mount Massive.
Yodelay-hee-hoo.
All right. Gonna go back to the holiday season. This is the 5 greatest holiday movies, in our opinions. I'm gonna start with Alex this week.
Okay.
Go
I will
ahead.
go at number 5. I have the claymation trilogy of Year Without a Santa Claus, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and The Rudolph. Maybe.
Is it all one movie?
No, but they're like all like I lump them together in my mind. They're all like 45 minutes long.
Okay. I'll give it to you.
Okay. The 4th is the Santa Claus trilogy.
I feel like you're starting to ram
Yeah.
things together here.
I was just gonna say the original one is my favorite, but I enjoy the whole bunch. All of them are pretty good. It's one of those series that like didn't die off on the 2nd and 3rd for me.
Okay.
Coming in at number 3, I would say Christmas Vacation.
I'm
Chevy
offended.
Chase. Sorry, coming in at number 3, Christmas Vacation. Shitter's Full. Number 2, Elf. And number 1 for me, just based on tradition and our family kind of tradition, is A Christmas Story. Frigile must be Italian.
I'm gonna go to Muff now.
All right. My 5 are A Christmas Story. Could be anything in there, Alex. A bowling alley. Well, The Deed.
Like the 4th of July.
4th of July. Next is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, obviously for all of the great reasons. Also on my list is Elf.
I wonder what will be Sam's number 1. Go on.
Also on my list is Elf, followed by a couple more classics, more classical options. A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Christmas time is here.
Time for joy and cheer. And last on my list is the original Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Bumbles Bounce.
Yukon Cornelius.
I'm gonna go next. I will tell you I hate Elf,
Weird.
and Christmas Vacation is not on my list. So
Woo!
there we go. Let's rip the band-aid off.
Are
So
you
my list: Bad Santa. Big fan of Bad Santa. White Christmas.
Calm down, Matt Ryan.
The Grinch.
That
The
doesn't surprise
original
me.
Grinch.
That does not surprise me.
What is your daughter's favorite Grinch? The original or the new one?
The Jim Carrey.
Yeah, 'cause that's a good one.
The best
Is
one.
Tessa's
favorite.
The
The
Grinch.
Grinch. Hey, Tate. Low then pirate.
entirely.
That's it.
My number 2 is Fright Claus.
That's my dad's number 1. He laughs at that movie so hard.
Oh,
And
it's so good.
the movie's funny, but watching it with him is funnier.
Yeah. And then my number 1 is Die Hard.
I had a feeling that would make your list, Jim.
Yeah. So to Sarah,
Yippee-ki-yay.
Okay, I'm ready. So I do like. Oh, I'm like very.
you're not even in the circle now.
There we go. Now I'm not.
You're
really.
half in the circle.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
So 5 would be the Santa Claus trilogies. 4 is Rudolph, the OG. / Frosty. I feel like that kind of they go hand in hand.
I'll give it
Yeah,
to you.
that's fair.
3 is it just left me.
What's that one about?
Oh please. The Grinch.
Yeah.
The Drew Carey Grinch.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
That's different.
Drew Carey would be an interesting Grinch.
That one, I was just gonna.
The Jim Carrey Grinch. There's no other Grinch in my mind. And
Okay.
then Elf and number 1, Christmas Vacation. If that's not your favorite Christmas movie, I'm worried about you. TBH.
All right.
Yeah.
EH.
There you go.
Hey, Bethany, do your cats eat Jello?
I don't know, Clark, but I sure do like it.
Well, I wouldn't
And-
be more surprised if I woke up tomorrow with my head stapled to the carpet.
Sewn to the carpet.
Sewn to the carpet, Alex.
Sewn to the carpet. Sorry.
What name?
Nate even was like sewn to the carpet.
So that is a Mount Massive.
Yoda like hee-hoo.
This is a new-ish segment. I've changed start bench cut for right now to Would You Rather.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm gonna make this one pretty easy. Everybody's got to answer. Would you rather score the walk-off field goal at the Super Bowl or score the walk-off home run in the World Series?
Walk-off touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Field goal.
Field goal. Okay. Someone else get first.
I'll say home run only because I think that's like the bigger feat of anything like field goal kicker. Yeah, that's your job to put it in between the field goal posts. I mean, yeah, I think it's harder to hit a home run as a professional hitter than it is for a professional kicker to kick a field goal.
Muff.
I'd rather hit the home run.
I was actually going to pick home run too, and I didn't know if I was going to get chastised for going with the baseball thing. But I feel like if someone hit a walk-off home run in like Game 7 of the World Series, I would remember it more in 10 years than like who the kicker was that kicked a game-winning field goal.
I want to be the kicker because that's the only time you're going to get love in your position.
But,
I mean, that's one way to look at it.
So that's why I choose the kicker.
okay.
Next up, would you rather coach the New York Jets or the New York Knicks?
Jets.
I would rather be an NFL head coach. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Jets.
Yeah, I couldn't put up with the NBA's BS. Not that the NFL doesn't have BS too, but I couldn't deal with the attitudes of the NBA guys.
Okay. I agree with that one. All right, for the third one. Would you rather be hit with a tennis ball that was struck by Serena Williams or hit with a soccer ball kicked at you by Messier?
That brings me a little PTSD because I definitely got knocked to the F out my junior year of soccer by getting kicked in the face with a shot trying to be the goalie. So I'm gonna go with tennis ball from Serena Williams because I know what the soccer ball can do. And like she's a girl, and like I would be like a little less inclined.
Oh, Nate, or Alex, what are you doing?
No. I'd be like, I don't know. It might be kind of hot. That's where I was going. And you picture like what? Why is she?
Alex, I don't think
I can't walk back out of this. I don't know where I was going with it, but didn't mean to say that either. Really, like I would be less mad. Like that's kind of what
Stop.
Never.
You're explaining you're losing.
Alex, you're
Stop.
making it worse.
I meant like if
Just
okay,
stop.
if
We're
Jim.
moving to Nate. We're
No,
moving to
wait,
Nate.
Jim.
I
If you
can't
hit
listen
if
to
you hit me in the
anymore.
face with a soccer ball, I would punch you in your face. If Jordan hit me in the face with a soccer ball, I'd be like, Jordan, that was not nice. That's what I meant. I would have a softer spot for the incident because she's a woman. And I'm not saying that would hurt less. I'm saying I would have a softer spot for the incident.
Nate, I can't do any worse than he did.
Can we start over that?
I think I would rather get hit with a soccer ball because I don't think it would be coming as hard as a kick than a Serena serve at 120 some mile an hour. And I feel like I could probably brace a little bit better for a soccer ball than I could the tennis ball.
Mistake number one. You cannot.
Muff.
I mean, this is all about where I'm getting hit. If I'm saying I'm gonna get hit in the same
Thank
spot,
you. The first one, exactly.
if I'm saying I get to pick and I'm gonna get hit in the same spot, I'm gonna get hit by a tennis ball. If it is going to be like, if you're gonna choose where I get hit, then I need to know.
Right.
But
So,
I'm
like,
gonna
if I'm
say if
taking a leg or an arm shot,
I'm taking a leg or arm shot, give me the tennis ball.
right. If I'm taking one to the dome,
Tennis ball. I've never seen someone get knocked out getting hit in the head with a tennis ball, but I've seen someone get knocked out hitting in the head with a soccer ball. It was me.
It was me.
So you
Again,
you
where
could
in the head am I getting hit? That's probably also part of it.
yeah, I don't. There's too much.
A soccer ball is going to hurt. It is going to sting. It is
Yeah,
going to be an unpleasant experience. A tennis ball, I feel like I would rather get hit with a tennis ball in pretty much all but one area of my body. If
That's
I knew
true.
it was going to be a direct hit.
yeah.
In that area, just because the soccer ball is more surface area. Spread.
I fear the tennis ball. I'm avoiding the tennis ball. Give me the soccer ball. I don't care if I'm going to go to sleep if I get hit in the head. I don't care. I don't want that stinging welt.
They happen with soccer balls too.
Ugh.
That wasn't even in the face thing, but like if you take a hard shot off like the thigh, you're gonna get yourself a welt.
Ugh.
They're both gonna suck.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's unpleasant no matter what you do.
Would you rather run with the bulls or fight Mike Tyson?
I would rather fight Mike Tyson 100 times out of 100.
Yeah, I think I'd rather just get punched in the face really hard than get speared by one of those bullhorns.
I can take one hit from Mike and go down. I cannot predict what's going to happen with that one bull.
Yeah, that bull like spears me right through the abdomen, and I'm
Right.
screwed.
I'm done.
Yeah, I'd rather fight Mike because I can at least flop like the guys in the NBA or in soccer there and just be done. If I flop like that with the Bulls, they could still mess you up.
That's fair.
There's,
I never thought of it that way. That's
I'm just
good.
very slow too, so it wouldn't be running with the bulls. It would be running over, getting run over by the bulls instantly.
Okay. Last one.
Okay.
Would you rather drive a NASCAR around Daytona? Okay.
Mhm.
Or be in a speedboat race?
like just be the person driving, or just
Being the person driving the speedboat.
Like on like the Ohio River.
You know, like the jet boats?
Yeah.
I'm not talking like, oh, I'm on a speedboat. I'm talking about the jet boat things.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going
How
to
far is that race?
It's pretty quick.
I go. So I'm going to play a semantics card on Jim right now.
Yeah.
Jim just said to drive around a NASCAR track. I'm going to do that because there's no discussion about being during a race or having any competition
Or how fast.
or how
Okay.
fast.
Would
Just
you
that I was
race-
driving around the track.
Right. All right. Let me correct it. Would you participate in the Daytona 500 or participate in a speedboat race? Them jet boats go like 200. The point is, you're going 200 miles an hour in either vehicle.
Yeah,
But I think
I'd rather be in a NASCAR.
so. My mind's going two places. So I think in a NASCAR, the chance of me wrecking into someone is much higher than in the boat, but I can't swim. So if I fall out of the boat, I'm fucked. You know?
We'll get some official sports stuff with Jim and Muff
Floaties.
floaties. Yeah.
Yeah, life vest.
Can we get those sponsored, Sam?
Yes, I got you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
I will take the speedboat over the NASCAR.
Why
I'll
is
probably be
that?
safer.
Yeah,
in
why,
the-
Nate?
I think I would have more fun in the speedboat for one, and for two, I don't want to do 500 left, or sorry, 1,000 left turns or 2,000 left turns.
That's fair.
I'm with Nate. I want to go fast and quick and be done.
Listen,
I
I could put myself into the wall at 80 and be done with that race. I can, you know, during the pace laps or I can I can go rear end that pace car and they'll probably be disqualified. Like
I'm done.
I can find ways to get out of that race.
Just like clip a wire while you're driving.
I'll slam on the brakes be right in front of somebody and then have them rear end me and then get out of the car and to be like, oh, what is this? Blah blah blah. And then get into a fight with somebody. Like calling the backup. Like Muff's done.
Or just shift it in the wrong gear and blow it up.
Yeah.
Something wrong with a car. I hear you. Well, that is Would You Rather.
That is Would You Rather, and that brings us into the end of this week's episode of Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff. Thanks as always to Alex, Nate, and Sam. Appreciate y'all being here.
I love being here.
This is the last full barn episode before the holidays. So thank you to everybody. Hope you enjoy the time, the holidays. Do the things, eat the things. What's everybody's favorite, like, Christmas Eve or Christmas Day food? Is there something you look forward to?
Cheesy potatoes.
Cheesy potatoes. I make a bomb cheesy potato.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, but I recreated them. We're good.
I'm a big fan of my stepmother's monkey bread. Does everybody know what monkey bread is?
I know what
Yes.
monkey bread is.
I did not know until she made it for me. I didn't even know it was a thing. Big fan of monkey bread.
And now you love it.
Big fan.
That's the cheesy potatoes are good. My mom's been making this like spinach Christmas tree. It's like this like nut like fluffy little biscuit thing with spinach dip in it. Super good. And then my stepmom every Christmas morning makes this like cheese Danish thing, which is very good.
Oh, hey.
So lots of good
Nice.
options.
So if we're looking at, like, there's two different things. There's like my snack thing that I look forward to and like the food thing I look forward to. The food thing I look forward to is when we go to my brother's on Christmas Day. He always has a venison salami cut up. So it's like a meat tray and there's cheeses and fresh cheeses, and that's always fun. And then I always look forward to wherever this comes to be. There's a lot of different places this could happen, Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. I always look forward to a good Buckeye.
That's good too.
See, Buckeyes that's a whole different level of we could do a podcast on Buckeyes. Because you
Really
could do a
good.
Buckeye right or you do a Buckeye wrong. And it's a household thing. Like, they're either dry as shit and you just ate a whole mouth of peanut butter and you need like 4 glasses of milk, or you have the chocolatey goodness and you're just like, oh, this is fantastic. And
So if somebody gives you a bad Buckeye, you just grab a Reese.
yeah, but no, it's not even Reese because it's peanut butter. You know, Reese's peanut butter is not regular peanut butter,
Yes.
so it's not comparable.
Wait, what?
It's just a mouthful of peanut butter.
I think Sam just learned something.
Did
And
you?
I just thought that they were sticking some Peter Pan peanut butter inside of a Reese cup, but I guess not.
Oh,
Yeah.
you done goofed, child. You done goofed.
Go look at the ingredients next time.
I will.
You can feel differently about Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
Maybe I
Reese's-
don't want to though.
Reese's
That's
peanut butter is entirely its own thing.
I've been to the Hershey factory before. You think I would know that?
Christmas fudge is another thing that's you either hit it right or you don't. Sugar cookies, another thing.
Sugar cookie. Yeah.
And you know what? I'm glad I got 4 people from the Ohio Valley. You all had Respect sugar cookies?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Old world.
Some point I know I have. It's been a while though.
I drove home 3 weeks ago just to see my dad. I went to Respects to get those sugar cookies.
The sugar ones or the iced ones?
The iced ones.
Ones, yes.
Yeah.
The
That's
old
where
world ice. Yeah, we might have to take him some.
What are you calling it?
They're
Old
old. If you
world,
look at
that's
the
what-
label on them, they're old world iced sugar cookies.
What does Old World need?
I don't know.
The brand.
they're not the new world.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. They're like Respects. They're homemade there, but they're called old. I only know that because my mom always calls them old world cookies. And if you look at the label, it really does say that.
Nobody can make them like that. Nobody.
Nobody.
But yeah, I have those around Christmas. I get those pretty religiously.
Good.
All right. Well, that's a good way to wrap up this week's
Oh
episode.
no, wait. The peanut butter, the cookie with the Hershey Kiss on top.
Oh, peanut butter
Peanut butter
blossoms.
blossoms.
Oh, those are awesome too. You're very right,
them
Jim.
on point.
I do make a
Right.
mean peanut butter blossom.
I grew up never knowing what those were really called.
I learned today. I'm today years old when I learned what they were called.
I saw a meme the other day online where someone used chocolate bells instead of chocolate kisses, thinking it would work, and the bell part melted down in, and it looked like an apple. It was awesome. Let's see if I can find it for you, Jim, and I'll send it to you.
Send it my way. Now you can send us home.
All right. That wraps up this week's episode of Sports Stuff with Jim Muff. Enjoy the holiday season, everybody. And as always, keep this rocket ship going to the moon. And you can do so by telling a friend, making a friend, and be
Uh,
Brad.